Hey everyone, it's Charlie here from Daily Motor, and today we've got the 2020 Lexus GX 460. Not only that, but we've got the upgraded Mark Levinson 17 speaker sound system. Costs $1,145, but it sounds awesome, and it is worth every single penny on that upgrade. So today we're going to take a listen to some few sample tracks. We're going to take the car out on the road, go for a little drive, listen to the tracks on the road, and I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Even though there is already a little bit of a preview there for you. So before we get started, let's hop out and take a quick look at the vehicle. So this is the Lexus version of the Toyota 4Runner. It's very luxurious, very off-road capable, if a tad bit strange looking. I can't tell you that I'm a huge fan of the looks in the front, but I do think it has a nice presence. I like the wheels, I like the color for this type of vehicle. It's super luxurious, super comfortable, definitely has some weird quirks, but it's a unique vehicle, and I've enjoyed getting to spend some time with it. We'll be doing a full review on this car, so if you're interested in more than just the sound system, be sure to check that out. Alright, so as I said, this is a 17 speaker sound system. It's Mark Levinson, which is Toyota's premium sound system brand. And surprisingly, it only has 330 watts from the amplifier. But what this system shows you is that speaker count and amplifier wattage do not tell the whole story. If you check out my review of the Durango SRT, had 19 speakers and I think over 1,000 watts, maybe 900 watts, and it didn't sound that great. It wasn't very well balanced. It sounded muddled as they came through, especially at loud volumes. This system, much lower wattage, fewer speakers, but it sounds very good, very crisp in all sorts of situations. Now we always do these demos with the sound settings set completely to the factory settings. So if we go in here, got treble, mid, bass, all zeroed out. And we have the automatic sound levelizer on and surround on because those are the default settings. Now I've got an iPod actually plugged in today with uncompressed WAV audio files. And the reason being is this is the first system I've used that hasn't recognized my USB stick. Typically I just have this little USB drive, I plug it in. But when I try to do that with this car, it reads it, it notices it, so I can go right here, click USB, but then it says no music files found, which they've been able to be found on every other vehicle so far that I've done this test with, but fortunately I keep it backup. I've got an iPod with the same exact tunes, uncompressed, on there, so that's what we're using today. Good old iPod Nano, throwback. Still running. You've got a ton of source options in the GX. You've got AM, FM, satellite, CD, DVD, USB, iPod, Bluetooth, auxiliary 3.5 input, RCA AV jacks, and rear, which that just puts output to the headphones that are in the back if you want people to be able to listen to whatever you're listening to up here through the speakers, or through their headphones. Go back. So let's take a look at where we've got speakers here. We've got, it's like one up there, so 1, 2, got a center right here, 3, and then some up here as well, 4, there's 4, 5 grills. Who knows how many speakers are actually up there. 6, 7 on the other door. 8, 9, 10, 11. Where else? 12, 13, 14. So there are 14 visible speakers here, but there are probably some hiding behind a few of the speaker grills around the vehicle. You do have your tiny DVD player screens back here as well for the rear seat passengers. Now the system, even though it's only 330 watts, goes plenty loud enough. I think right now we're at 30, and it'll go loud to the point where it'll hurt my ears. So, plenty loud enough. Alright, let's check out a few tracks, and we'll hit the road. Now I want you to hear in this track how clearly all the different instruments come through. And if you notice from other vehicles, it sounds much crisper and better in this car. So a trademark of a really good audio system is a delineation between all the different sounds. So when I'm listening to this song, I've got the guitar coming through about here-ish, and the low bass hits are coming, they actually feel like they're coming from below me. I can feel them in the seat because of the strong subwoofer, and it's just got kind of a low sound to it. Then you've got sort of the hi-hat sounds coming through the tweeters up here. It almost sounds like there's a speaker for each instrument coming through in the song. It sounds really cool. This is one of the most powerful subwoofers I've felt in a stock car in a long time. My whole seat is vibrating from this song, and it's not a particularly heavy bass song either. The Lexus has pretty easy to use, straightforward audio controls. You've got steering wheel volume adjustment here, as well as track adjustment and mode for input. And then you've got a volume knob here, track knob, and track control buttons here as well. The one thing that does kind of bug me is the volume knob doesn't have any increments, so like any indents. So it's a very smooth turn. I don't know, it's just personal preference, but I like to have little clicks as I turn the knob. What else? All right, let's go through a few of the sound settings. Treble. Mid-range. And bass. You've also got a pretty substantial surround adjustment here. So when the surround is off, you hear the sound coming from in front of you much more. It doesn't really seem to envelop you. There's also kind of more of a mid-rangey emptiness to it. You turn surround on, and the sound kind of seems to come from all around you. Driving around listening to a lot of different songs, I've preferred to have the surround system on, but I have gone back and forth to sort of test on different sort of songs. Okay, let's get on the road. Audio goes out when you start the car. Just a super minor irk that some cars don't have. I want to just turn the music down here for a second and let you listen to how quiet and isolated this cabin is. So we're traveling at 44 miles per hour right now, about 45. And you can just, the overall noise level is so low. V8 engine is very, very refined, muffled. It sounds good when you get on it, which we'll do here pulling onto the highway. But you just feel relaxed. So there's 70 miles per hour, 73 technically. And you hear just the slightest amount of wind noise, slightest amount of road noise, but they've done an excellent job at isolating this cabin, which makes for better audio quality. When you listen to a song that you're more or less familiar with, and you've listened to it a lot, but you hear it uncompressed on a very high quality audio system, you hear instruments and notice sounds that you've never noticed before. It's pretty cool. light piano part where I'm accelerating here on this road. We're going 43 and you can barely hear. I mean, all you hear is the music. You can barely hear the car at all. Really impressive. So I've kind of given it away to you guys already, but I'm definitely impressed with the Mark Levinson system here in the GX. Now, you know, some of my favorite systems are the high-end Bowers & Wilkins, Harman Kardon systems, and like the Volvos, BMWs, Mercedes. But this Mark Levinson system is right up there with them, absolutely. It might not be quite as perfectly balanced and mixed and have quite as good of a surround sound as the top-end Bowers & Wilkins systems and the Volvos, but it has a better power. A lot of times you hear me talking about sort of that mid to low range bass punch that many systems are lacking, and this Mark Levinson system does a great job at having that. You've got the deep bass sounds, but you also have the mid-range heavy hitting bass sounds that just really satisfy your soul. And another thing it does really well is parse out the different instrument sounds. Like I said at the beginning, you can hear your highs, your mids, your lows, your guitars, your violins, your pianos. Everything comes through crisply and clearly and in a really satisfying way. If I were giving a rating to the Mark Levinson system here, overall, holistically, we're talking about near the top, best of the best. We're looking at like a 9.5 for the system. In its class, probably about a 9 to 9.5 as well. I mean, we're talking about luxury SUVs. These are kind of the most ideal vehicles to engineer sound systems for, other than maybe a large sedan. But you're dealing with a lot of sound isolation and good speaker placement. And this Lexus does a really great job with all that. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like this sort of video, please be sure to check out some of our other sound system reviews. Check out the full review of this Lexus GX 460. Please hit that subscribe button, like the video, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor. Drive on.